Hello friends, how are you today? Wow, we've got something neat to discuss here on the Schumann Resonance, and I'm also going to talk about the energies and add a little inspired energy discussion. First, I want to do the chart changes, and this part of the chart we discussed in the last video, but the key thing here was that there were areas in the subconscious that where there was something hidden, okay, and that we may have consciously hidden it there, both in the broader society and in our personal lives, okay, because I think the chart energies, you can apply them to what's going on in the world, but you can also apply them on an individual human level. Now, we had this big space of hours of no data. So I've linked right below my link to the video, No Data, What Does It Mean?, where I discuss this in detail. I had hoped last night that we might get data filled in, but that has not happened. It was over 12 hours. Anyway, it was a long time. There wasn't really anything unusual going on in terms of the solar flares. You know, there was another geomagnetic disturbance, but there's nothing that I can see in the background in terms of the sun data and the geomagnetics that would have caused that. I just don't know what it was. Okay, now here's the cool stuff coming up. We've got this activity here, okay, in the lower hertz, where you can see before it was almost completely clear. And then a starburst almost of, that's the word that keeps coming to me, starburst of energy here. This right here, right about there, that's about 7.83. So you can see this goes way past 8 hertz. And then you have this bright line of white resonance and red resonance, and you know, it's all the resonances, but the white stands out at 15 hertz here. Now, the next thing that happens, and I took it off the chart because I want to, in this video, just focus on the starburst, but basically all these energies grounded through the hertz after this starburst. But this is what I want to focus on today. So the other thing that I want to say here, and my 2 videos that I recently did on the technological event, that's these, what I call that's my name for these straight lines. 2 of them, they're both linked below my 2 most recent videos. So, but what I wanted to say was, as I had mentioned in my analysis of it, you can see here that the natural resonances really easily shine through. And there's a lot of red here, but it's interesting because there's also a lot of purple. And it's been months now, several months, that there's just been a lot of purple showing up on the charts, okay? And transformative, you know, that's the word that comes to me around this. Even the reds have transformed to roses, magentas. You know, we've got this beautiful blue. So there's some really incredible colors here. And there's a lot going on. And I want to talk about the energy of this in a second. In general, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. The only thing I'd note is that the green went just about to the very low end of its range. The amplitudes were obviously rising, but the interesting thing is that not much was occurring that was very out of the usual. In fact, the rises all occurred after that starburst. So I want to show you what I think was going on. It was in the qualities. Look at this. Okay, so you can see here that there was a big step up in the yellow, and it went to 19 in the qualities. Now, amplitude is the energy, the strength of the energy of the frequency that makes up the resonance, and the quality is the clearness of the pure signature of the frequency, if you will, like the essence of what it is. The higher the quality, the more clearly that essence shines through. And 19 is pretty high. We've been seeing highs around 14 recently. So it stepped up beyond that. And what's interesting is that the green, which is, you know, in my view, reflective of the human condition, has been very, very low. Of course, we don't know what happened in here. But the yellow, as I have said before, in my view, is partly it reflects from a human perspective what is going on in the astral realm and the 4th dimension. In my view, I guess I can link the 4th dimension article below again, but in my view, this includes our thoughts, feelings, this includes our dreams, this includes energy that is non-physical in the negative and in the positive, that is very close to the human physical form, okay, and our lives. This includes ghosts. This includes, thoughts about others, or that person's thinking of me type feelings. So all of that. That's what I view as the relative from relatives. That's what I view that the yellow represents. Okay, so the burst. Now this is so fascinating. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the energy. Okay, so here's what's fascinating here in the starburst. Let me get a close-up view of it. Very low down here, you're into about half of a hertz at this level, but you can see that the coloring goes almost to 0 hertz here. And in my view, as I've said before, what that means to me is that this comes from an almost autonomic level, and that is fueled by soul, that fuels our life force that runs the body and its functions. So therefore, this is, in my view, from an energetic standpoint, this is coming from the soul, like our soul. And so it results, in my view, as we've gone through the Shadowlands, which I've talked about quite a bit the last few days and even recent weeks, we ping back and forth. When we consciously want to uncover what is hidden, we ping back and forth from this area of the chart to this area of the chart to that area. Okay, this was on February 19th, and we had those crosses. Okay, there had been a set of crosses a day or two before, and then this was the transmuted and transformed. But basically, you have the same thing going on here. Now, this was at about 13 hertz. We've been pinging back and forth from around the alpha waves, 8 to 15 hertz. Ping, 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 ping. And then we get these insights. Whoa, I just got that. Okay, and that's like the line that goes just straight through, and then it stopped. It didn't really go beyond the 15. It comes into our waking state. Then it's for us to take it into the beta range or even the gamma range of our brainwave hertz. The range of hertz of the Schumann resonance coincidentally matches with the brainwave, so that's what I'm talking to right now. But basically, it's up to us to take that into our higher reasoning, really integrate it up in the gamma brain waves, and then even have a spiritual experience up in the beta, up in the gamma, in the high beta. That's where we integrate it into our lives. But what's been going on now is just the realizations. The whole chart has been much closer to the shadow realms, the hidden. Okay, and so what we're doing right now is we're bringing that into just our conscious awakening, and then what happens later, this is the full chart for today, is that understanding extends all the way through. Some of us even integrate it into our higher thinking, into our lived experience, and then into a spiritual experience. Isn't that cool? On a personal level, what this can mean is sudden shifts. They might appear scary, or you don't understand them at first. And the reason why I say that is because of the chart having been dominated by shadow energies. When there's shadow energies, there's things that are unseen or that we don't understand. But you can see here with the starburst that what results is positive. My experience here is that this can affect our electrical and nervous systems. Why do I say that? I say this because the shadow elements emanate from the non-physical closest to the body, and the starburst emanates from that area of the chart relative to where the brain waves of us as humans, that hertz level, where that is in terms of our brain waves, in subconscious, the unconscious, that's where that energy emanates on the chart. And finally, that it is my view that from an interdimensional physics perspective, the fourth dimension, where all this is emanating, the yellow resonance, okay, which is imbued, in my view, with a lot of these elements, also happens to be the primary location of electricity as an energy. And that is my theory and my view of how the forces of energy work interdimensionally and where key ones reside. So the big thing here is that the starburst unblocks blockages. When it happens, it can be very sudden, and that's why it can be scary. We can not necessarily understand what's going on. And this can even come from a challenging situation, interacting with someone else, interacting with someone close to us. At first, in energy, these things can feel like attacks, okay? But when we take the charge off of what is happening and go back to energy practices where we simply connect with God, connect with soul, maintain permissions in our energy field so that we are operating in our highest good, as we search within ourselves, not outside ourselves, but within ourselves for the answers, when we take what's going on outside and choose to say, hey, that might be a reflection of something going on within me. And there have been a couple of key comments over the last 2 videos. And I want to thank, I'll just use the first initial C and R, you guys for writing in, because you really inspired me to really think about some of this stuff. But when you have these things that seem like attacks, when you have these things that seem like the world is going to heck in a handbasket around us, if we can look within and say, what does that mean within me? Like, how can I take this to the personal? What's it mean in my personal life? Then we're able to access, as we apply our repeated attention, we're able to finally see what is going on. And that's where we are right now, the starburst of awakening. Oh my God. So on a personal level, what I wanted to share is I have been going through some challenges since June. Some things have been happening. And then what happened was, because those things were happening, stuff was happening in my body that was completely unexpected, okay? And a friend of mine happens to be going through some similar things. And so she's been doing a lot of research, and recently we were sharing research. And because she had pointed some things out, last night I just woke up in the middle of the night. It was before the starburst happened. And I just started, somehow I found like the key website that helped explain what was going on for me. And I just read article after article after article and then shared it. I went back to bed, and 2.5 hours later when I woke up, this electrical charge like had gone through my body. And I breathed through it. I called my angels around me, okay, to support me. And Archangel Michael said to me, lean on my strength. And so I just breathed with him, and my angels, my spiritual guides, told me everything was fine. I'm okay. I breathed through it, and when I woke up in the morning, as I was breathing through and connecting with soul, and this is about energy, consciousness, but what happened for me in energy is that a huge breakthrough happened, and then a blockage cleared for me, and now I feel so much better. Here's where I want to tie this back to what I talked about with the qualities, and that this burst initiated, it seems like coincident with the high rise in clearness in the astral / 4th dimension, the layers of energy that are close to the body that takes applied consciousness to understand what's going on. You know, like it says in the Bible, ask and you shall receive. So as we continually apply our consciousness, we apply the consciousness, what's in the tunnel, what's in the tunnel, what's in the tunnel, what's in the tunnel. And then you take actions in the real world to ascertain what's in the tunnel. You pursue what you feel will assist you with whatever is going on. You follow your conscience. You follow your inner guidance. And then this starburst bursts forth from that space. From a human perspective, that's what it appears to be, right? It appears to be something that intangible, okay? So it bursts forth from within the depths within us. And we have sudden clarity. And then we can take the next step right? And bring that into our higher thinking, integrate it with our higher awareness, and even then take actions in our living experience as a human being in the world to change our lives and really integrate that over the long term. And we may even have spiritual realizations about that. And yeah, when I woke up this morning, I looked at the starburst. And as I opened up the page, I was thinking about my country. Okay, now I'm going to take it to the societal. I was thinking about my country, and as I opened this page, I was thinking, how far into communism does my country have to go? And I was praying for a miracle. And as I was having these thoughts, this popped up. And as soon as I saw it, the words that came to me in my head were Star-Spangled Banner. Miracles happen, friends. Focus on the personal. That's where you can make the most change. Unless you're someone in a key position for your work. And if you are, thank you for what you're doing. But when the chaos rages outside of us, focus on the personal. That's my way of approaching it, because in changing my life, I know that I changed the world.